Evening, Speed Gaming. It's the ALTTP Randomizer Daily Race, and this is what we have here tonight is called Super Quick. And what that means is simply, and I'll repeat this as necessary as we go, 0 crystals to enter Ganon's tower, 0 crystals to defeat Ganon, and no Agatu required. On top of that, this is beatable only logic, so anything we don't need, which is a lot of stuff, may not be obtainable. I am Scupula, and tonight we have Osh and we have Outcasts. They're great guys, great skills, and they're going to do great. See if you get that one. But we are going to get going here in just a minute. Ask me questions as we go on here. I'll do my best to answer them. I did some reading ahead of time, but pretty much it's called you need pyramid access and a master sword. That's it. So pyramid access, that's not too bad. I mean, it might make people voluntarily do AGA 1. We'll see. But starting off with just some bombs there, so I imagine more than any other mode we're going to want to do CAC real quick, but Akuhesh is going to go ahead and get Uncle and stuff too, and this isn't bad because here, even if you can't do most of Escape, I mean, we don't need much, so going to get a tree pull for some resources, hence that sign to kill the guard and turn it on. And Osher cleaned out Sanctuary and is going to go ahead and do Kakariko with 3 bombs. Just like you like to be. Hook shot from the uncle. Your uncle is Batman. I hope it says that at the end of this. Yeah, it could be a while. If you've seen sword hunts on this thing, it's rare, but it could happen. Beatable only locking out things. We'll have to see what kind of odds that puts forth toward making such things a reality as opposed to any normal seed. But so there's 1/3 of our Dark World access. I won't call it Pyramid just yet. That would be... Well, I guess, these runners, if they get to the Dark World, more than likely they can get to the Pyramid, even if we do have to hack our way into the eastern part of the map. Oh, did they have a sword? I didn't catch that from the start. Maybe that's part of the super quick thing. I figured they're going to have to find 2. If that's the case, then I guess they only got to find 1. Yeah, so they do have 1. Don't think it'll affect sword hunting too much, but 2 is not 1, and vice versa. But so far, just a pocket change and ammo, things like that. Some health there. Osher's got up to 5 hearts now, and seeing as we're more than likely going to have to deal with Master Sword Silverless Ganon, I'll be real surprised if we don't. And there's some boots, so already we have a little bit of running around in front of us. And here we only have to do dungeons in as much as we want to on account of whatever item densities they may have. Yeah, Akuhesh may never see the bottle vendors as just a heart, so this kind of thing in this mode would work out for him, as long as that 1 heart doesn't cost too much down the road. There's a red cane, so talking again about all this stuff that we don't need, but we have. And to those who know, Nostra I know is 1, you can make your life much easier at Ganon with in a low percent situation, given that red cane. So that's nice. Notice we found a shovel in a mirror, so Oster's going to check the shovel here, see what's under here. More money. So we have boots and all that. Maybe we do South Shore here and check Zora. We'll see. Back to Sanctuary, so that's... I don't know, you might be going up the mountain. Or back at Escape, at least for now. Skid checks quick. It's the name of the game here tonight. And Osger is one of these runners who knows in all situations where to get the most checks in the shortest amount of time. Here in the back was not much, but back to Sanctuary. If it's not Mountain now, might also, I think, maybe check Lumberjack, although in this situation, I don't know. Oh, we got Bonk Rocks who didn't do those before. You don't know that the Lumberjack tree would serve much of a purpose here. I mean, there's a shot it has your Master Sword and your cape is AG1 access, and that's your pyramid access, but so yeah, I guess Oster, I didn't even notice Oster wanted the bulk of Kakariko first, so it didn't come up here, but since that didn't send him any which way in particular, he's going to finish the forest and move on. So actually, Hakuheish and Oster both are going to wrap this up at about the same time, this set of checks that they've now both done. Hakuheish, I think, would have to consider the back of Escape, but unless he did it and I missed that as well. Correct me if I'm bad at watching stuff even with a partner. This looks like the South Shore sweep. No sense in leaving Dam for later. We have no need, desire, or real want to be in Swamp, so... Just a bottle. No easy way back for sick kids, so that'll have to wait. Go dig up some worms before fishing at the lake. Never seem to be able to keep the worms. We do get some powder, which doesn't do anything prior to a hammer. Or a mirror and Dark World access, but there's the second sword. So at this point we want either a hammer or another glove. That's it, as far as I know. If we see a lamp, we could also count that, and we'd be doing AGA1 at that point. Yeah, Dapper Worm Man getting it. This is one of these things, too, where if you do see a lamp, nobody likes doing AGA1, but here in a situation when that's your access and you have a known quantity of time to be done with the game, you're going to do it. I mean, it'd be funny to see if anybody actually kept looking for a hammer. If there's a hammer like right after a lamp, that'd be interesting. Yeah, Osher didn't go the whole way. He's going to go ahead and check Saha and Eastern. So far as not coming up with anything that Hakuheish is not. Hakuheish is doing this the more traditional way with the money and the water walking and the moon pearl in hand in case something goes wrong with the water lock. Yeah, there's in the prep I've done, no way did I even think about needing some sort of fire at all. Just I knew there was going to be something that's just inherent to these dungeons we normally have to do, but I didn't even come up with that one. If only there was a torch glitch that didn't involve one of them going out, and you could just keep them both lit. It's a heck of a water bottle, Stags. I like it. So Akash is opting for the 5 here out of a dungeon. Ozger's going to dip eastern. We haven't seen any maps, so we don't know what the prizes are. I don't think that's going to concern anybody today. Akash coming up with vanilla red boomerang and something else that's red in there. So that's a very nice thing to have in a mode like this. Don't care what you say about red mail. Zora's Bank even has money this time, so even if you were feeling scammed, you could. It's a good 80% scam, I'd say. 90%, something like that. But yeah, we're done with money. Don't need no more of that. With the exception of, we find a bunch of bottles and spend everything we have on potions. If we don't find better offensive weaponry here for Ganon. I think, okay, I was wondering if Ozger was going to turn left and just skip the lamp, but yeah, with that consideration that we needed at some point. Or a fire rod or something. That'd have been funny, though. So yeah, Ozger's doing the splits. Akash just did back escape too, found the same bunch of nothing, but he's going to do the splits here just to see if we can rule out Dark Cross. But I don't know that the logic is going to be a major consideration down here either. I mean, I had a fire rod and Dark Cross today locked behind a lamp, but it could also go the other way. We do find a flute, though, and that's all Ozger's interested in, so he's going to get that turned on, and we'll just take it up the mountain since that's... I mean, it's something we could have done before, but now, yeah, it is indicative of, the potential for actual progression up there. Especially that hook shot mirror. You can do both sides. I don't think you can. You can't do anything on the right side without a glove. And we have a glove today. We're going to Ganon. Still need that lamp, but yeah, in the old way, and then in the combo randomizer way, for those who watch it, it would have to be a lamp to lock the fire rod. That's what I had here in an open seat, but it could work the other way here today. But we only need one of them, pending comfortability with lampless Aga. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Osher left something to escape, but I don't know. He's probably not worried. It's one thing. I mean, Really only need one thing at this point. If it's a hammer, we need two. If it's just a lamp, we're fine. But Paradox is being its usual self of late. Comfortable enough to say that before he's done with it, because sometimes you can just tell. So, Seraph's Song, super quick. If you've seen 7-7 open, it means 7 crystals get into Ganon's tower and 7 crystals to defeat Ganon. Well, this is 0-0, as Dapper Wormman is pointing out. You don't need anything. You just need the ability to defeat Ganon. You don't even have to do Aga 2, because the hole's open already. We just have to be able to get to the pyramid and beat Ganon. We already have a Master Sword, so that part's taken care of. But as we were all figuring out here as we went on, we do need some sort of fire source, as in we can't keep the torches lit one way or another. In Ganon's pyramid there, we can't beat him. But now there's a hammer. And we can go to the Dark World, but like I said, we still need some kind of fire. That's the bulk, if not all, of the mountain that Osher can do right now. Didn't check Sick Kid when he was here activating before. We'll do it now. Just a little bit of money. Yeah, and then we found out they started with a sword too. I didn't see that in the settings, but you would normally have to find 2 in a situation like this, but just 1. So Osher's going straight for the density, and that makes 100% even more sense than it normally does. Going to do Hype Cave and work out from there. You're going to see 14 question marks at the bottom of the screen. Nobody's concerned about dungeon prizes at all today. I mean, if we really go this far without a lamp, I don't know. There's a handful of dungeons that require a fire source, so we're not going to get too far. So now there's a 3rd sword. If I was playing, I'd be like, okay. But certainly nobody minds that at all. Akuhe's headed toward the mountain like Osher just did. He's going to come up with that hammer and more than likely do the same thing. Get his temper sword and set out to looking for that lamp. I will mention there are only 3 people in the race room today, so you might see some gamesmanship in here, more than you normally would in a larger daily race, because when you're racing, known quantities of small groups of people, if only, or even if only one, you're gonna. These runners know each other fairly well. They know their styles. They might think, what's this runner going to do? And I'll do something else. See if Rando favors me today, that kind of thing, especially in a quick mode. But Osher coming up with the flippers. And I was going to say, he has not done Zora checks. Opting not to, but he's going to, yeah. His play style here today looks like it's going to be density and logic, in whatever order you choose. So you can check the island, because that's fully obtainable now, but it's just some money too. But he's hoping that, he's on the path as the game has it laid out. Akahe's headed in Spiral Cave, and like I said, we'll come up with that hammer, and Osher going to check all this out here, finding red mail along with that sword. So when you have level 3 armor and offense, you are in nice shape for any seed with a Ganon goal. But as we know, there's nothing much else up here. So once he gets his 50 rupees, he will, I guess, have to continue on what he was doing. Scan the Dark World for things. Might decide to go to Pod. Might go to Village of Outcasts. Check it out here real quick. Akahe's is going to take the hammer, instead of doing Hype Cave, actually do the Village of Outcasts first. So You know, it's a choice you make. Maybe it's a conscious choice. Maybe it's just something, you know, he's used to. We'll see. But since Azure has not yet found it, it'll be looking at Outcasts here, see if we come up with some sort of fire source. Here in the village of Outcasts. It looks like Azure's still going to play logic, and this is dense as well. It takes some time to get into Swamp Palace, but he's got all the tools to get in here. 6 items to be had, and I don't think we have something marked, but I don't think we saw any maps as far as this goes. So it's at least 6 items, maybe more. I don't think he's going to be concerned if he actually gets as far as Argus without finding a lamp. Then we'll just see what falls off the ceiling, and that's it. And for Akuhesh, I do kind of hope there's nothing here so that he gets around a hype cave. Because, you know, with them in different places, even if they find the lamp or some sort of fire source in relatively the same point of time, that Master Sword is a disadvantage. It's one that you almost expect to have in a mode like this. So I don't know if he'll go around looking for stuff on the way in. He might, but so there's a bow. It's not going to do much. It may logically open pod. We could get into that anyway. But he may, you know, choose to route that way now, given that bow, which would be perfectly sensible. Yeah, I mean, this isn't a bad spot for either runner to be in playing a sea like this when we have 2 potential items, either one of which can put us in go mode. That being said, and I've been trying to think about this, I believe it is entirely possible for them both to be in Ganon's Tower if we find Titan's Mitts. Any setting where the crystals are. I could be wrong. Don't quote. But with 0 crystals to get into Ganon's Tower and no dungeons required at all, I think it is possible. Oster's for going left side, just wants to get the easy checks. And we did have all the tools to do diver down and all that if we could. But it's like Akuhesh is going to follow him in here, though. But as he'll find out, we'll see here in a second, it looks like Osher is not going to come up with any fire source here. And this is just a red pendant, so nothing further to be had. With the consideration of pedestal, which is probably the last time in this decade I would ever consider calling for such things in a 0-0. But those who have watched and played this randomizer know that even where, you know, a seed requires it, a lamp can be pretty late. So think about what could happen if a seed does not require it until the very end. Looks like Oscar's headed for Village Outcasts. He may choose to do the front of Skullwoods first. It's 2 items and it's thin density, but a lot of times it seems to wind up with the progression. It's hard to say how that applies in a 0-0 like this. When, we can find things that would normally be progression, but are only looking for 1 of 2 things at this point. Nonetheless, he is going to try it. There's 1 of the 2 right there, so yeah, I don't know that he's going to do much more of this. We'll check this out. He'll come up with a key in here, so if he needs to get out this way, he can. He's pretty sure he'll come up with a key. There's the other one. But since he took the drop down, he is going to have to walk out. No matter. Key in hand already. Out we go. I mean, he could have quit out if he wanted to go a different area, but he wants to, I would imagine, do Village of Outcasts and things like that, so. I would say check bumper, but in a situation like this, don't worry about it until... I would think don't worry about it until we actually have a cape. But it's a quick check. You're here, no big deal. It's just a piece of heart. He's going to carry that into Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb. Yeah, you can do King's Tomb as well. So you could also choose to keep going into Catfish. We'll see. Village of Outcasts is dense, and there is a lot we still don't know about, with Thieves Town being smack dab in the middle of it. So Outcasts is over here doing the left side. Didn't find much, doesn't look like. Had a look and don't... I guess he did it the other way. So yeah, nothing there either. So won't hurt Osger for skipping. King Tomb, just a bunch of box filler material. And yeah, he's going to go ahead and carry this over. It's thin, but it's perfectly logical, and even Osher at this point could be thinking things like, well, if nobody's done yet, maybe they're doing all the dense stuff like Village of Outcasts, and then I need to do this, so... Total conjecture, but that's my guess as a runner. Super quick is 0-0. Free Ganon Tower access, as long as you can get there, and free Ganon vulnerability, as long as you can get to the pyramid, which does not require Agatu. Yeah, fire. We need a lamp, or we need a fire rod. I'm sure both runners right now are basically figuring that, well, this figures. Oscar's going to run back, probably just wants to check pyramid, because, if it's there, he's done. And this is no slower than mirroring and fluting to 5 and running back, so... In fact, probably a little quicker. And just a blue rupee. So, onward and eastward. Meantime, Akuhe's getting done with Swamp. Equally disappointed, I'm sure. See what he does next, but he does have a bow. So he may go straight to pod, with the exception of checking Pyramid. Looks like that's the way he's headed. Yeah, you don't want to miss Pyramid. It's 4 extra screen transitions, but there again, if it's here, you're done. Yeah, we do have a few bottles. We might see the runners, especially with the flute, opt to spend a little bit of money that they have in spades on the potion shop before they go in, but it can be done with a standard bar if you're real good at it. So yeah, Aku's over here doing the eastern area. He's going to check Catfish first. It's always better, I think. Feels better at least to do all this before you go into pod and spend 3 minutes on finding your 4 of your 6 front locations full of keys. But as we know, it's not going to pay, but he will be able to, on this route, mirror out and go straight to 5 and only be a little bit behind Oster at that point, as he has done all these flipper checks already. Yeah, it's really hard to gauge what you want to do here outside of the reasoning of density, since we are looking for one of 2 items. One of those 2 items cannot be in certain locations in this dungeon, but we don't care which one it is, so just need to find it. And yeah, if like Archmason, thank you. If that bow, which allows us the only access that we can do to King Helmasaur, I guess he was going to do pod, maybe not, but if he was, and King Helmasaur had the answer, which it would have to be a fire rod, it couldn't be a lamp, but even so, if it was, that could have done it. Okay, he is going to pod. Is the fire locked? Yeah, I guess. Couldn't have a fire rod down here anyway, could you? Yeah, I mean, it's not impossible given that we're in beatable logic, and that would be a heck of a reverse psychology way of playing this thing. Maybe the fire rod is out of logic and that's where it is or whatever, but I've in the last bunch of time playing beatable only logic seen some stuff, so there is that possibility. That is the most I can offer about that. But it is a long single check, so yeah, I don't know. There's the beatable only, and the fact that, like I mentioned before, there's only 3 people in the race room today, and 2 of them here on stream, so there might be some back and forth gamesmanship going on. And Osher comes up with Mushroom in the dark, so don't know if he'll chase that right away. It is pretty quick. Yeah, it is quick, so if it's here, there's no rhyme or reason because beatable only, but I mean, it won't be the lamp, because logic still applies, but just some bombs. But figure while we're here, we'll get some potions so we don't have some trouble. Just one bottle for Austria. Just now notice Outcasts has a 3. So back to the Dark World for Austria, and yeah, you may be thinking Village of Outcasts, but with this warp point being used, left side. He's worried about left side. Yeah, without all the dots in front of me, I'm not sure what else is left for the runners here. I mean, in his case, we know Village of Outcasts, Thieves' Town, that kind of thing, but yeah, it's like I figured. Small room, there's going to be a lot of little things. You know, what is my opponent not going to do? We think this and this range of time and such. So yeah. So yeah, Arcahace is not going to try Helmasaur. He will try Eastern now, and Fire Rod can absolutely be in the boss room here, and if I'm thinking correctly, I think so can a lamp, depending on the big key location. So either which way, this is as good as any. Yeah, I'd almost have to say with reasonable certainty that the beatable only logic is playing into some of these decisions on both sides. Because it just means that stuff in fact can be where it shouldn't be. And I think we're all learning as we go here. And we are not going to have the answers by the end of it. But through Eastern goes Akuhesh, and dungeon prizes and doodads so far. I think that's all of Eastern he wants. It may have behooved him to run the bow through, but it may have also been that, you know, without finding the big key, he figures lamp locking is going to cause problems. So out he goes. This is probably Skullwoods for him. It is Firelock, but knowing the goal, you know, it's not impossible that a lamp could be there or on the boss. But yeah, it would be a choice. And a little bit of spice in your game if you were to make a play like that, for sure. You're going the same direction for the same warp, but he's already done this, so this is just Village of Outcasts. So we are seeing each runner do some stuff that the other one has done about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes apart here. Yeah, I mean, this seed, you guys, we could have been here and this could have easily just dumped everything on us before we got out of CAC, and that would have been it. But no, we got a bit of an interesting one here tonight. Yeah, here comes Thieves' Town. Yeah, it's a thing too. I mean, those who didn't catch the sword difference is Hype Cave right now, but No matter what you're doing, any seed like this, the longer you play, the more likely you are to find one of these. So yeah, it's a weight off your shoulders. I mean, even if you're good at Master of Silver, it's not fast. But the longer this goes, yeah, more likely Akuhesh is going to make the trip to Hype Cave. He has not done so yet. Oh, he did. Never mind. Yeah, he was there. He got a sword too. But nothing in the front. Just the usual access to the back, so we're here. We may as well. Both runners at this point have left a number of things isolated, just hoping that our go -1 would end here real soon, but it just hasn't. It's not bad, but the garbage piling up just starts to feel a little funny on you. Yeah, we do have, that one pendant already from Swamp, which is just Pendant of Wisdom, so yeah, depending on what drops here. If it's another pendant, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I think maybe Oscar won't be too concerned unless he ends up in Skullwoods again. Well, which he won't because it's a fire rod. So ignore that. Or, that third pendant actually drops, but I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, we also have that little P there in the corner. Tracker today, by the way, Lady Laura Linda, who is doing the good job because, paying attention to that letter is something I was not doing, and that's how we know what things like Eastern are, just from having been in there. So, thank you to Lady Laura Linda very much, so I could talk to myself here today, and all of you fine people, and thanks for watching. There's a map check from Hakuhesh, and I saw Crystal at Desert. I did not catch Hera, but that is where Hakuhesh is headed. Yeah, that's what the letter means. It's a little thing in case you don't have audio or whatever. Nice thing to have. So all the way through Thieves Town has Ostra been, and it is the other glove, which is not what we wanted right now, because that does, in fact, open up the 27 checks in Ganon's Tower. Oof. So I'm sure he will clear out his surrounding area. Sure as I am about anything on here. Ostra's leaving, but that is now a consideration. So Akuhesh wants his Herapod. He's going to do the 8 or so frame clip into the pot with hook speed. Hook again to the other side. Down and up you go. After you push left first. You have to push left first, or you are stuck. I didn't see what was in the front part of the basement, if that's 1 or 2 items for Akuhesh, but it's also because I didn't catch you. Okay, so that is the third pendant. Although I do not believe, the Akuhesh knows that Thieves Town is the third pendant. But now each runner has one of them. You could check ped together if that were a thing. That Akuhesh can take this pendant right back to Sahasrahla, and maybe we can get out of here. And with the beatable only logic, I'll mention again, it is possible for something to be locking itself behind a glitch. So we put a little bit of weight into logic, not all of it. Double checking Akuhesh there on those other crystals. Meantime, Ozer's in the mire. These are a handful of quick checks, 5 or 6, depending on how much of desert you want to do. Yeah, DP's a regular crystal. So if we're thinking about 5, 6s, they're both in a dark world. Where, I'm not sure, but basically anything that's not Swamp Palace and Thieves' Town. Yeah, GT is open and Ganon itself is open. This is fast Ganon, so not defeat Ganon the way they have it. I can double check, but I'm pretty darn sure it's fast Ganon. It is in fact fast Ganon. So we're just looking over that fire source, and sure enough, it's a pain in the butt here tonight. Oh, if I was looking at the YML and the map check app and I missed it, I'm sorry, but if you can see the red and that's where you think it is, and that's probably where it is, because there's nothing else to confuse us on that map today. Akuhesh is going through Thieves' Town, and again, the thoughts have got to be like off the wall at this point, since we know, there's going to be next to no difference between go mode and done for these runners tonight. Until one of them shows up, the other runner knows that they don't have fire. So it doesn't look like Meyer's paying off too well. Neither did Desert. And Osher's not going to go through all of Meyer, and that makes sense. It's a little on the slow side. He is going to go to Ice, though, thinking the same thing I was thinking, that not even just earlier tonight for me, but a lot of times. Cold Stare and Lamps. Not hot enough to melt the guy. Yeah, rule of fire, that's right. The gears in the brain must be doing some stuff, because I'm sure there's still a measure of, what is my opponent not doing? Osher may think that Akuhesh has gloves and mitts. He doesn't, but the longer this goes, the less we know, and I think that was a fire rod. Osher is in go mode at 47 to 35. That didn't even take too long. Rule of fire it is. This is going to be a very quick answer to that interview question. So to point 5, Osher goes under the rock to the warp and over to the pyramid. Yeah, that's pretty good. And it's going to leave Akuhesh to either, dip that as well or find the lamp, which, we may not today, so. Ooh, Bombos, good question. It wasn't Desert, right side, there you go. Okay, so that was mitts locked as well in the absence of the book. So to do that, Akuhesh is going to need one of those two. But off to Ganon. With the tempered sword goes Oster, so 3 phases and 12 spins in another phase. And we're making bacon here tonight on Speed Game. We started with a sword, we found a second sword, I don't remember where, not too far in, and then the third one was in Hype Cave. Then we had a big fire hunt, ending in Ice Palace, as it is wont to do. Very, very frequently. So, while Oster's doing Ganon here, guess what Akahesh has in terms of dungeon prizes? Although he's not going to do it. Yeah, he can check bed right now, but he doesn't want to. Yeah, it would have been good, though. Yeah, this torch glitch, I'll tell you what, it's something I've gotten some practice with lately. I used to mess it up. Now I'd almost rather do it than the lamp. If you stand toward the upper left corner, I'm actually not sure what he did, but if you stand toward the upper left corner, count yourself about a half a second after the last tile falls and fire. Can't fail. Yeah, do not think we're going to see the lamp tonight, to be honest. Unless that's Akahesh is what he finds to finish this seed, because he may choose to go to ice or he may not. So yeah, get your GGs in for Oster here. He's going to put in time of 50 minutes and 40 seconds officially on racetime.gg. Bombos, or admits to Bombos to Fire Rod in Ice Palace to Fast Ganon. So yeah, lamp literally could be anywhere, especially since we are working on the beatable only logic. It could be unobtainable via new glitches, but yeah, normally when that gets said, it just means it can't be in dark rooms, but it actually could. So yeah, if it were on Helmasaur, it would be because the game does not expect you to be there. But under normal logic settings, no, it could not be there. Yeah, Akahesh is up here at the hookshot. He must have the mitts. Must have picked them up. So probably just gonna run into GT at this point. Maybe. Well, Akahesh is on the right track. He's gonna get into desert here from the looks of things. Get Bombos, and then maybe it'll occur to him, hey, well, that's kind of fire, so that gets us some of what we need, and then it'll end up being the rest of what we need as well. So trying to see if Oster's to come in and chat. May not. Gets a little late. Works out for seed like this, sub hour. Could have been quicker. Definitely could have been longer. Ake should not yet have a dot done just yet when he picked up that third pendant. It would have been interesting to run up there since it was close, but playing like a sane person, I can't blame them. We just all want to know. We are going to find out in about a second here. Fourth sword. Well, Aku wouldn't have hated it, wouldn't have loved it either. So, I mean, that's fun. Not a lamp. I don't even know what the text would be for that. Ooh, thinking about it. Well, if it weren't for the whole Harry Pot thing and such, I want to say we could have had a lamp here if this were standard logic, but into Ice Palace goes Akuheish. He will be in here not long. Then he'll be off to Ganon. So both runners today were smelling what Bombos was cooking, quite literally, and they're going to end up being rewarded for it. Yeah. Austria there in chat, GG's. Yeah, I haven't played 0-0 or seen one ever, so I couldn't tell you. But yeah, hunting your go mode, it's probably not the go mode you were hoping for. It was probably not a lot of fun, but it's a good job with Bombos there and pulling up what Akuheish just did and putting in a pretty good time considering what the seed was telling us to do. So yeah, Aku is going to take this portal instead. It's maybe a little slower, but it looks closer, I guess. If Aga were done, it'd probably be quicker. Actually, would be quicker. I knew about the stun prize. Want some magic. Good call. And if Ake is going to check Pyramid real quick, he might. Or maybe he did already. No, he did already. That's right. He did it the other way. Even some regular seeds you can wind up in here without having checked it first, and then you do, and it's a sword or it's silvers or something like that. But Ganon Part 2 coming straight to you. Tempered sword twice as nice, at least. Aku knows he's not getting a 1-in-1 here, so not sure what's in those bottles of his at this point, so we'll just take it easy here. And blue and a fairy. He wasn't sure either, just checking. He's going to start getting Ganon to do some renovations here. Reluctantly or otherwise. And start getting to spinning. As you're putting in a sub-100 collection rate by a count of 1. It's kind of fun. Does get the torch glitch. Took an extra shot. Thankfully, it didn't cost him, so worked out well enough. Even if he didn't, he's got that blue potion, so no worries here. It almost feels like you were designed to do it this way. If let's say you never visited the Pyramid Fairy, like maybe you could. It doesn't look like it, but when you carry the sword out like that, it slows you down just enough to throw off one of your chances. Either way, we only need 12 with level 4 damage from these spins of a tempered sword, and we got 2 or 3 more. Just 2. Get your GGs in chat for Outcasts, as he probably somewhat disappointingly sees his timer click over to 5 digits, but nonetheless, for a seed making us hunt fire as long as we did, putting in a nice time of 1 hour and 13 seconds. GG. Outcasts is going to join us in just a minute. This is going to be good. GG. You're lighting up. 1 second. GG's, Outcasts. How you doing?
Thanks, I'm doing good.
Yeah, nice go mode.
Yeah. Did Aster get the lamp?
Yeah, he did exactly what you did. He was actually did almost exactly what you did. We're gonna see your collection rate. Did you have it pop up on a tracker or anything? Like, do you know what it is already?
No, I do not.
Yeah, he pulled a 99. I think did most of the same stuff he did actually.
Okay.
But yeah, I wanted to ask anybody who's willing to actually talk about this thing.
Oh.
Just because, it's a small room. You had beatable only logic. Were you thinking at any point you might find a lamp lock lamp or something? Just do the dark rooms and say the heck with it, or?
I was thinking lamp locked fire rod.
That too, yeah. I mean, that would even follow logic, but I mean, the beatable thing could have given us a dark room lamp, but no, we have no idea where the lamp is and never will. What we do know is the last sword was on pedestal, which we thought you were going to get, or at least I thought you were going to maybe get after Thieves' Town, and you had 3 penance, but
I was thinking about it.
Just for the memes, yeah, you're under control. That's good. But yeah, you wound up taking the mitts where they needed to be, because yeah, we don't have any legal, or as far as I know, well, I guess there is an illegal way to get in Thieves' Town or Ice Palace without mitts, but yeah, no, that's what it requested of us today. We could have done GT, and
oh yeah, that's right. GT is 0-2. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, we're pretty sure it could have had your progression because of that.
It could have.
Yeah. But the lamp will remain.
I did one of these last night just to see what it was like, and it was about as tough as this one.
What happened there, if you want to share, just because I am curious.
About an hour in and finally hitting go mode.
What was the go mode there?
That one was fire source again.
Oh, it was? Okay. Because we're 10 minutes into this, and then we're, chat's coming up with, oh yeah, fire is a thing. It's not just swords. And getting to the pyramid, like, oh, oops. So yeah, I wonder if you generate a bunch of these, how much fire ends up being go mode, especially when it can be 1 of 2 items.
Yeah.
And then, here you have your quasi-fire locking your actual fire, so, like Rando will be any different.
And I probably have to say, remember GT is open right away too.
Well, yeah. I mean, you might have found a lamp in there, but yeah, you did. Hookshot Cave came up with nothing. We saw it, and we are like, maybe. But
Yeah, I should have just went left, but I'm not running these modes. It's hard to remember little
yeah,
things like that.
yeah. I think any reduced crystal thing, as long as I forget how it works, where progression gets locked out now, but it might have been in there, it might not have. So it worked out for you. But,
Right, it did.
so yeah, you pulled in a 112, and it's not bad either. I mean, considering all we had to do, 3 dungeons done.
Yeah, and I did lamp lock chests just to check some things out too.
Yeah, like you took the bow into Easter, and we're like, well, okay, you might do, but then we didn't find a big key, so that means we need a lamp, and we don't have a lamp. But well, maybe the lamp's back there, or maybe it's on Armors because it's beatable, But you had to keep.
The
I'm
only
sure.
thing that could have been on Armos at that point was Fire Rod.
Yeah, except I said, now, I have been very wrong in the past, but I want to say in beatable only, it can be there if you are not expected to go there.
Right, it can be.
But that comes down to metagaming, and we thought maybe we saw a little bit of that, considering it was just you and 2 other people.
Yeah, I was kind of trying to metagame a little bit with the beatable logic.
And with that, yeah. So like Osher, he did not do left side swamp on first trip, but he did go back, just figuring maybe I should have done this type of thing, I guess.
Yeah. And when you have no idea where your go mode item is, it can be anywhere that's available.
Right, so
that's why I went left side swamp right away.
Yeah, I think it was go -1 for him by then too. It was just the fire by the time everybody could get into the dark world. So
yeah,
so that was a thing that happened, turns out. But any other thoughts? Anything else I didn't touch on that maybe I talked about and forgot about as we went on?
No, I
things
don't think so. Just one of those modes we don't play much.
Yeah, I think it'll be a while before we see it again. It's something we were talking about before we were doing in setup. We were like, well, it's fun to see every now and then, just see what happens, especially because it can be nutty, and this wasn't quick or long, but it could have been done 10 minutes too. You could have been in go mode and CAC. So
right,
just a little something to do on a cold January night. I guess it's cold depending where you are, but
it's cold where I am.
Yeah, definitely is here. But no, thanks for running. Thanks for volunteering to be here, because I wanted to see this. I did not want to do silverless at all with the Master Sword, so thankfully you didn't have to. But yeah, no, that was fun. So GG's to you.
Thanks.
And so with that is going to do it for tonight here on Speed Gaming. Thank you again to Lady Laura Linda for doing the tracking for me. I really appreciate it. And for Professor Renderer for setting this thing up. Tomorrow, on a quick inventory, Saturday, busy day. On Speed Gaming Deutsch, we have the ALTTP tournament running. It says Turnier. I don't know how you say it exactly, but not sure what the format is, honestly, on that one. But they got matches just about all day for that on Speed Gaming Deutsch 1 and 2. So it looks like just 1 and 2 both. Okay. And don't know that we have any ALTTPR for you. We do have Super Metroid going on the Portuguese side of things, and we have the Metroid Prime 2 Randomizer Weekly going on at 3 o'clock. Super Mario Odyssey, same time. Mega Man Maker Kaizo Weekly on Speed Gaming 6 at 3 o'clock. So there's a mix of stuff for you. And on Sunday, we'll have the SMZ3, hopefully at 3 o'clock. And a lot of the same type of stuff going on. More Super Mario Odyssey, more Metroid Prime Rando. Prime 1 this time, looks like, at 3 o'clock. So we'll hope to see you there. Till then, I've been Scupula. Thank you for joining me here on Speed Gaming, and see you next time.